Hi everyone, so today we're going to be solving the week 2 periodic math quiz. I think this is the MK one. So here we have the first question. It says which of the following have an undefined slope? So we know that for the undefined slope, it means that we have our graph line going like this. So if it's going through like this, it means we don't have a y. Because the y is just, no matter what the y is, it's going straight. So it means we have the same x for every time. So now to find the answer, if it says undefined slope, just look for anything that has the same x or that does not have a y in its equation. And everything else is going to be wrong because it's going to be defined. Moving on to the next question. Now we have to find which inequalities solution set is shaded below. So here we can see it's shaded on this side. So we know that it's not only greater than or less than. It has to have this sign, the equal to, if it's shaded. So now how do we find which one's the correct one? We have to replace the point 0, 0 in any of these equations. So 2 times 0 minus 3 times 0, which is 0, is it greater than or equal to 6? No, it's not. It's definitely not greater than 6. 0 minus 0, is it less than 6? Yes, it is less than 6, but here it's shaded, so it has to be also equal. Here, 0 minus 0, is it less than or equal to 6? Yes, so this is the correct answer. Here, is 0 greater than or equal to 6? No, it's not. Is it greater than 6? No, it is not. So next question. Okay, so here we have to read all the options and solve. In H, J, K, JK is referred to as the base. Yes, it's referred to as the base because it is the only line that is not congruent to these two. And it's where, like, see, JK is holding these two, so it's the base. Even if it's not down, it doesn't have to be. If it's the one that's has these two are congruents, so whatever is holding them from here is the base. So in DFO, FD is referred to as the hypotenuse. Yes, it is the hypotenuse because the hypotenuse is anything opposite to the right angle. In HJK, H is referred to as the vertex angle. Yes, it's referred to as the vertex angle because it's where the two congruent lines are connecting. They're connecting at this point, which is H. And in HJK, H and K are base angles. H and K, no, H and K aren't base angles. Base angles are the angles that belong to the base, which we found out up is JK. And DFO, OD is the hypotenuse. OD is not the hypotenuse because it's not opposite to the right angle. Next question. Okay, so for the next question, it tells us that ABD is congruent to PQO. So it means that A is the same as P, B is the same as Q, and D is the same as O. So A is here because it's the same as P. B is here because it's the same as Q. And O and D is here because it's the same as D. Sorry. So now we start to look at our options. Is BD equal to 7? No, it's equal to 24. Is AD equal to 7? AD? Yes, it's equal to 7. Is A the right angle? No, it's not. D is the right angle. Is AB equal to 25? We could see that AB is equal to 20. Is ABD a right triangle? So PQO is a right triangle, making ABD also a right triangle. Okay, on to the next question. Okay, so here, which of the following is true? Is JK a median in JLG? So we have JK here, and we have the triangle GLG here. Is it splitting this triangle in half, making this 7 and this 7? Yes. So it is a median. Now, next option says JK is an angle bisector in JLG. GK is an angle bisector because see, it's bisecting it into 20 and 20, which are both equal angles. is JL an angle bisector in JHG? So JL in JHG. It's not an angle bisector because we do not know these two angles, so we can't say. Is GM a median in GHK? So GM, is it a median in GHK? No, it's not, because here you have 14 and here you have 28, so it's not median. GL is a median in GMJ. GL in GMJ. So on this side you have 14, and when you add 7 and 7, that makes 14. So this GL is a median because it's splitting it perfectly in half. Okay, so now for this question, it says adding a multiple of the second equation in the first, combining like terms in this, leads to 19 equals. So in this question, you have to look at your equations. And now we learned this 2 years ago. It's where you have to rewrite this in terms of y, and then you have to like solve in terms of y. So we know that here you could rewrite it as negative y equals 7 minus 5x. But here we don't want negative y. We never want y to be negative. So we have to put these on this side of the equal sign, which changes their sign, and the y on the other side of the equal sign, which also changes its sign. See? 7 plus 5x equals y, positive y. So now after we did this, we can take the positive y and place whatever is this value in our original equation. See, here you have a y, but they already told us here that y equals negative 7 plus 5. So it's 4x plus 3, substitute this in y, equals 17. Once you distribute this into this, and this into this, you get that 4x plus negative 21 plus 15x equals 17. So add this and move this to the other side. You're going to get 19x minus 21 equals 17. Which when you move this to the other side, you're going to get it equal to 38. Now, you could simplify this, but you're not going to simplify it because here they told you they want it in terms of 19x, not 2x. So don't simplify here. Okay, next question. Okay, so the next question is pretty easy. You have to use the law that x to the power of y equals n x times y. So 4 to the power of x equals 100. So 4 times x equals 100. 100 divided 4 gives you 25. It's pretty easy, this question. Okay, so for this question, they need what whole number is equal to 4 over 5 to the power of negative 2. We know that we can't have negative exponents, and negative exponents are the same as 1 over 5 power 2. So we know that already, because you have to flip it. See? 4 power 5 negative 2 is the same as 4 over 4 over 1 over 5 power 2, which is the same as 4 over 1 over 25, which can be rewritten as 4 divided 1 over 25. When you're dividing with a fraction, you do KCF, keep, change, flip. You're keeping the 4, you're changing the divide to multiply, and you're flipping this fraction into 25. 4 times 25 is equal to 100. And that's how you get your answer. Now moving on to question 9. So for question 9, they told you what's the value of x in this. So you know that when you have the same base and you have a fraction, it's the same as doing, like when you have the law says that n to the power of y over n to the power of x equals n to the power of y minus x. So you have n to the power of 2 minus x over 5 to the power of x is the same as writing 5 to the power of 2 minus x equals 5 over 16, as we can see here. So now simplify this. X minus x is equal negative 2x. So 5, 2 minus 2x equals 5 over 16. If you have the same base, you could just treat this like a normal equation. So 2 minus 2x equals 16. When we move the 2 to the other side, it's going to be negative 2x equals 14. Negative 2x equals 14. When you simplify, it gives you x equals negative 7. As you can see, we put on the answer here. Now, next question. What number equals 6 power 3 times 4 and 6 minus 1 times 4 power 3? So we also have to use this law again, but here's the trick. So since you have negatives, you can't keep negatives, and you have to move the smaller number to where the bigger number is. So you have to subtract it where the bigger number is. So which one's bigger, 6 power 3 or 6 negative 1? We can both know it's 6 power 3. So you have to add this one up. You move this to the top, making it 6 power 3 minus 1, or 3 plus 1, if you want to simplify the signs. And the 4 power nothing, or like 1, is the same as, is smaller than 4 power 3. So you move this one down, making it 4 power 3 minus 1, which is 4 power 2. Now you get 6 power 4 over 4 power 2, which you have to multiply this. 6, you have to multiply it 4 times, it will give you this answer. And 4 times 4 equals 16. Once you divide them, you're going to get your answer to equal 81. Next question. So it's asking you, what's the value of x in 10x plus 4 equals 15? So we know that if the base is the same, you could just add the exponents. So 15 minus 4 gives you 11, which is your x. It's pretty easy. So here it's asking, what is the slope of the line whose equation is given by 4y plus 48x equals 0? So for this question, you're going to treat it as it's the equation 4y, y equals mx plus b. So you have to move this after the equal sign, making it 4y equals negative 48x, which when you simplify on both sides gives you y equal to negative 12. Okay, so now on to the next question. What is the slope of the line passing through the points 4 and negative 10 and 2 and 10? So here we can use the equation of the slope, which is y1 minus y0 over x1 minus x0. So here you could pick any point to be your y, like to start with, any point to be your y1, but it's important that you also start with its x if you're picking, for example, this y. It's important that you also start with this x when minusing. So 10 minus 10 over 2 minus 4 was going to give you 20 over negative 2. When simplifying, you're going to get that it is negative 10. Okay, so for this next question, it's a bit tricky, but it's pretty easy when you get the hang of it. So here you need to rewrite this equation in y equals mx plus b. So you can rewrite this equation as by equals negative 6x plus k. So now you have this equation from what they gave you here. Now you need to make your own equation in the form y equals mx plus b from the graph. So you need to find your slope by doing y1 minus y0, which is 1 minus 0 over 0, which is here, minus 2, because you started with the 1 in the y. So when you solve this, you're going to get that your slope equals negative half. You're going to rewrite this in your new equation, which is y equals negative half plus, it's supposed to be your y-intercept. Now you're gonna ask, how do you find the y-intercept? To find the y-intercept is the point where the line meets the y-axis. So in this case, the line touches the y-axis at exactly 1. So your y-intercept is, here is 1. So now that you have your equations, you need to find out how this x turned into the -6 you have up here. So when you do this, you could find that when you multiply -1/2, you need to multiply it by 12 to get -6. Or you could just simply do 6 divided by half, and it's going to be 6 times 2, which is 12. So since you multiplied this by 12 to get the -6, you have to multiply the 1 by 12 to get k. So 1 times 12 equals 12, so 12 is your k, as you can see here. And moving on to the next question. What is the value of a? Be careful what they ask for. So they asked you for the value of a, which is the x in this case. And if the solution of the system is x equals 3y plus 2. So here you don't need to rewrite the x, like you don't have to rewrite the equation in terms of x because it was already given here in the top. So you just have to substitute this x in this equation. So 2 times whatever x equals plus 3y equals 76. So 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3y equals 76. 6 plus 3 is 9, 76 minus 4 is 72. Y equals 8. Now some people are going to just stop at that and put y in the answer. But be careful, they didn't ask you for y, they asked you for a, which is x. So now you need to substitute 8 in your original equation. So x equals 3 times 8, which is 24, plus 2. So 24 plus 2, you get your answer to be 26. Now moving on to the next question. Okay, so for this question, we know that you need the acute angles of a right triangle have to equal 90. So 5 plus x plus 6 equals 90. 6k, sorry, x, I said it's k. So 5k plus k plus 6 equals 90. 6k plus 6 equals 90. 6k equals 84, which is 90 minus 6. And k equals 14. Next question. So now it's telling you that you have an angle SQR, which is equal to 15. And MQR, which is equal to 6x plus 45. Find x if you know that PQR and SQR form a linear pair. What does it mean to form a linear pair? It means that their values are equal to 180. So when they tell you linear pair, it means equal to 180 always. So now we need to take 15, we took it, plus this is equal to 180. Now add like terms, which is 15 and 45, you're going to get it equal to 60, plus 6x equals 180. Move this to the other side, you're going to get it 6x equals 120, and then you're going to get from that x equals just 20. Now, moving on to the next question. Okay, so for this question, I'd advise you draw it to picture it better. So they told you have an angle BAC, and that AX, the line, bisects this angle. What does it mean to bisect? It means to split it perfectly in half. So if it's bisecting this angle, and they tell you that the whole angle, BAC, is 120, and that they tell you that BAX, which is only half, is 2y minus 6. See? They told you it here. So now you need to do 2 times 2y minus 6 is equal to 120, or you could do 2y minus 6 equals half of this, which is 60, but I'm going to do it now in the 2 times. 2y minus x equals 120. So 4y minus 12 equals 120. 4y equals 132. Once you divide it, it's going to equal to 33, and you get your answer. Now, next question. Here, we know that corresponding angles are equal to 180. Always, when you see corresponding angles, they're not alternate interior. Be careful. If they make a Z shape, they're alternate interior. If they're on the same side, they are corresponding. So now you need to see that it's 10x, so 10k, sorry, 10k equals 180, because you're adding these two values together. 10k equals 180, k equals 18 once you divide both sides. So now moving on to the next question. Okay, so for this question, they're giving you that XWY, the triangle, and VWZ, also the other triangle, they need to know how are they congruent. So here you could see that they gave you that this line is equal to this line, and that this line is equal to this line. These two lines in both triangles are equal to each other. And they also gave you that this angle is also congruent to this angle. These are both 32. So now you have to count what do you have. You have two sides and one angle. So you have the SAS postulate, side, angle, side postulate. Okay, so for now, this question, it's statements and reasons. First, they tell you that HK and JG bisect each other. This is given. O is the midpoint of HK and GJ. It's the midpoint because it's bisecting each other at O, so it is a segment bisector. This here is given. Now, HO and OK, which is HO and OK, are congruent to JO and OG. So, why is this? It's because it is a midpoint. O is a midpoint of both lines. See, if G cuts J, these are two equal to each other, this is a midpoint. And if H and O and K are equal to each other, that means this is a midpoint. So this is definition of a midpoint. So angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. This is because they're vertical angles. See, they make an X with each other. And HGO and KJO are congruent. So now why is this? HGO, yeah. So this triangle and this triangle are congruent. It's because of SAS, because you see you have a side in both triangles that are equal, another side in both triangles that are equal, and an angle. So it's SAS postulate. You have two sides and one angle. So it's SAS postulate. Now angle H and angle K are congruent. H and K are congruent. Why? It's because of CPO, CPTC. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Now HJ parallel to JK. HG is parallel to JK, and this is because if alternate interior angles are congruent, then the two lines are parallel. And this marks the end of our quiz. Bye.